basically required. Already we have discussed some of them yesterday. So again, I'll brief it up. What are the various equipment that are required for the beekeeping? Now, coming to the beekeeping equipment, these beekeeping equipments are nothing but they are the accessories which are required modern method uh, for the modern method of beekeeping. So the various equipment that are required are comb foundation sheet. It is nothing but a sheet which is formed of a pure wax, and it is of proper size, and it is attached to the super frame made up of thin wires. And these bees make these comb cells over this particular sheet. This is about the comb foundation sheet. See here, this is about the comb foundation sheet. So these are the actually hexagonal imprints. Now here, this is the frame, and you have the comb foundation, and this is tied with a skin wire. Okay, so this is about the comb foundation sheet. Next, you have a dummy division board. A dummy division board actually is nothing but a frame which is placed with regular frame, and it provides limited space to the bee. So the main purpose of keeping this board is nothing but providing the limited space to the bees. And the next accessory that is required is oh, so the next accessory that is required is the Porter bee escape board. Now this Porter bee escape board actually is a board which covers the brood chamber, and it has only a one-way opening which is present at the center, and it is useful to clean the soup. The next accessory is the drone excluder. Now drone excluder is otherwise is also called as the your drone excluder is otherwise called as the drone trap. Now it is made up of a log of wood with a shallow opening, and the drones actually are trapped. The drones are actually trapped by this particular equipment. So next is your swarm trap. Now swarm trap actually is a rectangular box which opens at the broad side and has a wire gauge which is attached to the other side. And the queen excluder is fixed into the other one third of this swarm trap. And the one or two frames with the foam foundation sheets are also placed inside this particular box. And whenever a swarm comes in this way, it settles down along with the queen as well as the workers. Now the swarm is transferred to the hive. The next accessory that is required is called as the queen excluder. A queen excluder actually is nothing but a equipment which is useful to keep the queen in a particular portion of the hive. And it can separate the brood chamber. Queen excluder actually tries to separate the brood chamber, and it is perforated with a zinc sheet and mounted on a wooden frame. Now, the main purpose of this is actually the size of the port is about 3.5 mm, and the queen bee is prevented from passing through it. So the queen excluder actually tries to prevent the queen bees from from escaping through this. The next is what? The smoker. Now, smoker is an equipment to produce the smoke, and the smoke is actually useful to handle the bees, and it is made up of a fire pot with a funnel at the end, and at the base of this pot, you have got the bellows, which are made up of leather, and a tube also will connect the bellows and the fire pot. The coconut fibers are basically used to produce the smoke. So the smoker is also is one of the equipment you can say that is useful to handle the bees. Now this is the smoker. Now we have see this is the funnel, and you have got a fire pot, and here you have an air tube, and these are the bellows. So this is the basic structure of the smoker. The next you have a honey extractor. Now honey extractor is another machine which is used to extract the honey from the honeycomb. Now honeycomb actually is rotated in a wire gauge placed in a container which is made up of a metal, and the modern extractor is provided with a wheel and a hand crank. With this, the inner wire gauge actually is rotated with the speed of about 60 RPM, that is revolution per minute, and the honey is separated from the comb with the help of centrifugal force. First, the wax is removed from the comb, and then they are placed in the cage, and the cage is again rotated using a crank. As a result, what happens? The honey will get accumulated at the bottom. So that is how actually you extract the honey by using this machine. That is what we call it as a honey extractor. This, then the honey is removed. So this is actually the honey extractor here. So this is, you have a wheel, you have a hand crank, this is the wire gauge, and this is the frame with the honeycomb, and you have a metal container. On inside this, what do you say, the metal container, you have got this frame with the honeycomb. So this is how it looks like. Then you have an uncapping knife. Now, apart from this, you also have a steel knife with a double-edged blade, and the cells of these honeycombs actually are filled with the honey, and they are sealed with the wax. Why you need this honey uncapping knife is because basically, if you see this honeycomb, they are sealed with the wax. So to actually make it, free, what you have to do, remove the seal, we can say, the uncapping knife actually is being required. So that is the main purpose of keeping this uncapping knife. Means to uncap means to remove the cap. So this is the uncapping knife that we have seen. This is the shaft, and this is the blade. The next you have a queen gate. Now queen gate actually is another metal piece. It is fixed at the entrance of the hive, and basically it is used to prevent the escape of the queen from the honey. Not only the the queen excluder we have seen, it also prevents the escape of the queen. So likewise, even a queen gate is also used to prevent the escape of the queen from the hive, and it is made up of a slit-like opening of about 4 mm size. Now, apart from these, you also have the bee veils. Now, bee veils actually is the protective covering. It is used when we are handling the bees. And it is made up of various materials like silk, cotton, as well as the mosquito net. And it can cover the face, and it protects the essential parts of the head. So because what happens is whenever you are trying to actually collect the honey from the honey bees, it is very dangerous, as I told you, because some of the bees are very, voracious, and they can attack the farmers. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to take precautionary measures. So by using these accessories, actually, you can take not only the precautionary measures, and also at the same time, you can see that, you will not allow these, the queens or the other bees to escape out of them. So that is the reason why you have to use these accessories when you are collecting the honey. So bee wares actually is one of them, and it is actually basically, it is made up of either silk, cotton, or the mosquito net. And these bee wares actually try to cover the face, and it protects the essential parts of the head. Then again, apart from this, you have got a bee brush. Now, bee brush is a brush with the soft bristles, and it is used to remove the bees from the honeycomb. Then next, you have got the feeders. Feeders are nothing but the devices which are used to feed the sugar syrup. So actually, when you are collecting the honey from the honeybees actually need to feed them. So for that purpose, what you do, you use the devices to feed them with the help with the syrup. So what feed you give? You give as a sugar syrup. So this feeders, with the help of these feeders, you can actually feed the sugar syrup to the honeybees. And these bees actually are fed with honey syrup or sugar syrup when there is insufficient amount of honey in the hive. So whenever you feel that you have very little amount of honey in the honeycomb or in the honey hive or the beehive, then you need to feed them with the honey syrup or the sugar syrup. Okay, so these are the different accessories we can say that you have to use when you are trying to collect the honey from the beehive or a honeycomb. Now, coming to the uses of honey. So we all know actually the honeybees are very, very essential because rearing of honey is also very essential because actually it gives a very important what is an ingredient that is in the form of nothing but the honey. So what are the uses of the honey? For what purpose actually we use honey? And why you actually go for the apiculture? So that we will see now. So the uses of honey are enormous. Like basically it is an aromatic sweet material collected from the honeybees from the nectar of the plant. So it is actually collected by honeybees from the nectar of the plant. So it is a natural food. And if you see the chemical composition of this honey basically actually it is a natural product. It consists of about 17% of water, 38% of fructose, that is sugar. Then you have 1.3% of sucrose, and apart from that, you have the other sugars about 9%. Then total acid about 0.57%, and you have also the ash with 0.17%. And Nitrogen forms 0.04% with negligible amount of enzymes as well as the vitamins. So these are the various ingredients you can see or the components that are present in a honey. So honey actually is a very, very important product. It is a natural, product which has been extracted with the help of the honeybees from the nectar of the plant. Now, this honey is sweet because it contains glucose as well as the fructose. It contains glucose as well as fructose. That is the reason why it actually sweet very, it is sweet in taste. And the carbohydrate consists of both monosaccharides as well as a disaccharides. So here, if you see, glucose is a monosaccharide, whereas fructose is a disaccharide. So here it consists of both the monosaccharide as well as disaccharide, and it also contains the proteins as well as the free amino acids. Now, the various acids that are found in honey are citric acid, gluconic acid, as well as the hydrochloric acid. And a little amount of ash is also present in the honey. The various minerals like iron, copper, magnesium, sodium, potassium, calcium, silica, and phosphorus are also found in small quantities in the honey. And vitamins also occur in the honey. And the various vitamins that are present actually are ascorbic acid, niacin, pantothenic acid, riboflavin, as well as the thiamine. So these are the different minerals, you can say the glucose as well as the vitamins that are present in the honey. Now, varying quantities of the enzymes like invertase enzyme and diastase enzyme are also present in the honey. I mean, to name a few, only these two types of enzymes actually have been mentioned. That is, invertase as well as the diastase enzyme are present in the honey. So these are, this is, you can say, the various components or the chemical composition of the honey. So honey plays a very, very significant role. It is a natural product. It is extracted from the honeybees with the help of the nectar of the plants, and it consists of vitamins, minerals, then ash, then it also contains the, the glucose. So that is the reason why it has got a lot of significance. Now, coming to the nutritional value of honey. Now, we'll see honey is full of energy since it contains carbohydrates. As we have seen now, just now, that it contains both glucose as well as the fructose. So more amount of carbohydrate is present. So that is why it is full of energy. And a teaspoon of honey will liberate about 100 calories. So if you take a teaspoon of honey, it liberates how much? 100 calories of the carbohydrate. And honey is formed of dextrose and levulose, which provides the energy. So it is formed of dextrose as well as the levulose. Honey is also considered to be the drug of immortality, and it has antibacterial property also. So you can also kill the bacteria by using this honey. So it has antibacterial activity. It enhances the appetite. It is useful in relieving the dryness of the mouth as well as the body, and it provides essential amino acids required for the growth of the body. So it also improves the metabolism. So these are the various, the functions of the honey. So that is why it has got a lot of nutritional value. Then apart from that, the minerals which are found in the honey also help in the blood circulation. So this is all about the nutritional value of the honey. Now coming to the medicinal value. Now we will see what actually, how honey helps in the medical aspects. Now honey plays a very, very important role in the medicine because it possesses antibacterial activity. It can cure the cuts, it can cure burns as well as the sore throat, and it acts as an antibiotic. And it protects the skin as well as the eyes. It protects the skin as well as eyes. It promotes the growth of healthy tissues, and it is also used to treat the cough, cold, as well as the intestinal disturbances, and it cures the headache due to sleeplessness. And it has also anti-eosinophilic property, and it enhances digestion as well as the appetite, and it acts as a medicine to cure the jaundice. So these are some of the medicinal values. So not only it has got the nutritional value, but at the same time, honey also has the medicinal value, where it tries to help in many aspects, like as it possesses antibacterial activity, it cures cuts, burns, sore throat. It can serve as an antibiotic. It can protect the skin, eyes, promotes the growth, and also used to treat the cough, cold, and intestinal disturbances, cures headache, and also has anti-eosinophilic activity. Apart from that, it also enhances digestion and appetite, and also helping curing the jaundice. So then it also protects the deposition of fat. That means with the help of the honey, the deposition of fat will become easier. So it protects the deposition of fat. It is good for kidney patients, and it is also used as a medicine for bedwetting, and it can also apply to any swelling. So honey can also be applied to any swelling. So these are some of the important, you can say, the medicinal value as well as the nutritional value of the honey. So now we have seen So what is apiculture? As you all know, apiculture is nothing but the culturing or the rearing of the honeybees. So why do you need to rear honeybees? Because honeybees actually will give you the honey, so which is very essential, both as a medicinal point of view as also nutritional point of view. So that is why culturing of the honeybees as well as the studying of the honeybees in detail is very essential. So we have seen now what are the different species of the honeybees that are being present. About 30,000 species, as I mentioned earlier. Among them, only 4 to 5 species are very important. And when once you know, and since honeybees are the social insects, what are the different, what do you say, the caste that you find in a honey colony, because they all live in a colony. They don't live singly. So that is the reason why in a colony you always find a female, you always find a male as well as the workers. So the female is only one, which is basically we call it as a queen. The function of the queen is only to lay the eggs, and you have got the drones. Now, drones are nothing but the males. Now, the fertile males, and the function of the fertile males is only nothing but to fertilize the eggs. And once they fertilize the eggs, means by producing the sperm, they will die. And the next you have the category, you have nothing but the workers. Now, these workers actually try to protect all the bees. So that is how actually the honeybees lead a social life, and each one of them have got their own identity, and also they have their own function. So that is how they maintain a social life. Then after that, we have discussed about how actually you can go about with the collection of the honey. What do you mean by a beehive, or what do you mean by a honeycomb? Then we have seen what are the various accessories that are required for the collection of the honey. Now we will see what is a bee wax. Now, apart from the honey, now you also they also produce a bee wax. Now, bee wax is nothing but it is a natural product again, and it is a byproduct which is secreted by the worker bees to make the combs of the beehive. So you all know actually even apart from the what do you say, the queen as well as the males, you also have the worker. So these worker bees actually what do? Their main function is to make the combs of the beehive. So what do? When they are making the comb, they try to actually secrete another product, natural product, which is called as nothing but a bee wax. So the bee wax actually also is a natural product, but it is actually a byproduct which is secreted by the worker bee to make the combs of the bee. Now, how the production of these beeswax takes place, we'll see now. Okay. Now, it is actually basically a true wax which is produced by 4 pairs of wax glands which are separated on the ventral side of the abdomen. And they are pure white in color, and sometimes they are also yellowish in color. And this yellow color actually is nothing but due to the deposition of the carotene pigment. And you have got the root combs are dark in color, and the wax is obtained from the cappings, bits of the combs as well as the old comb. So that is how actually this bee wax is being produced, not only from the what do you say, the workers, but also it is being produced from the cappings, bits of the combs, and also from the old comb. So that is how the production of the bee wax will take place. And the production involves the extraction of the wax using different methods. So how do you extract this bee wax? Now we see by using various methods. So basically they say there are 4 different methods to produce the wax. They are solar wax extractor, submerged brood chamber method, submerged sac method, and you have steam wax extraction. So these are the various methods that are adopted to extract the wax. Now, first one is wax is extracted by solar wax extractor. In the second one, that is submerged brood chamber, it consists of an empty tin. On one side, there is a glass plane, and the extractor is placed in the sunlight. Inside the tin, there is a wire gauge on which the combs are placed, and the heat will melt the wax. The third one, that is submerged sac method. Here, in the submerged brood chamber method, the hive filled with the combs is closed above and below with the wire mesh. So that is how you try to extract the bee wax. Then in the fourth one, it is introduced into a tank of boiling water. The tank is cooled and the hardened wax is removed from the water. And the last one, that is in the submerged sac method, the pieces of combs are kept in a sack. The sack is placed in the boiling water. Then the wax may float on the surface. So steam wax extraction involves steam to melt the wax. So thus the melted wax will settle down in the vessel located at the base. So that is how these are the various methods actually that are adopted to extract the beeswax. So what is the main purpose? What are the functions or what are the uses of these beeswax? Already we have seen why we extract the honey and what are its medicinal value as well as its nutritional value. So likewise, even beeswax also has got a number of uses. So that is the reason why it is being extracted. So they are widely used in cosmetic industry, and they are used to polish the shoe, and it is used to manufacture the cold creams, lipstick, and also used to make the can. Okay? So these are the various uses of the beeswax. So we can say that apart from the honey, but we can also actually try to extract the beeswax, which also plays a very, very significant role. Okay. The next is the bee wax actually is also used to coat the papers as also to fill the pores in the wood. And it is also helpful to produce the foam foundation sheet. And the quality wax is utilized for the preparation of ointment. And it is also used to make the models as well as the pharmaceutical preparation. Okay, so these are the various methods of the what do you say, the bee wax. So bees play a very, very significant role. So not only the honey that is extracted from these honey bees plays a very, very important role, but also the bee wax that is extracted from the workers, which is being produced from the workers, also play a very, very significant role. Okay? So this is all about what do you say, the different, what do you mean by apiculture, the different types of what do you say, the honeybees, and also the honey, how actually the honey as well as the bee wax is extracted by employing the various methods. Now we will go to the life cycle of the honey. Now coming to the life cycle of the honeybee. Okay. Now, already yesterday I have talked about the history of beekeeping and all those things. Now, we will discuss only about the life cycle, which is very essential and which is present in your syllabus. So this already I have discussed yesterday. Different species of honeybees. This is Apis dorsata. Okay. Then Apis florea. Then you have got this Apis cerana indica, damer bee. Now, coming to the life cycle of the honeybee. Now, the life cycle of the honeybee is very, very important. As you see, the life cycle of honeybee actually consists of three main stages. They are the larva, pupa, as well as the adult. So, within a normal hive, a single queen actually will lay the fertilized as well as the unfertilized egg. So, the main function, as already have told you, that the main function of the queen is nothing but to lay the egg. So, the queen will lay the eggs, and these eggs actually will be present in the comb, and within a normal hive or a comb, a single queen will lay the fertilized as well as the unfertilized egg. So the fertilized egg can hatch the worker and the queen bees. Unfertilized eggs will hatch the drone bees. So that is how actually. So fertilized eggs, what do? They can hatch the worker. So they will get again transformed into a worker as well as the queen bees, whereas unfertilized eggs will hatch into the drone bees. So the eggs hatch after about 3 days, but development rates as well as the processes vary among the bees within the hive. So how best, these honeybees actually will try to lay the eggs, and within how much time actually these are being fertilized, now we will see. Okay. Now the honeybee colony life already we know. So the life of a honeybee actually is very perennial. The three types of honeybees which are present are nothing but the queens, that is the egg producers, workers, which are non-reproducing females, and you have got the drones, which are nothing but the males. Okay. So this is already, we have discussed this yesterday. Now, so when once the eggs are being laid by the females, that is the queen, now how does the development will take place now? We'll see. So the development from the egg to emerging bee varies among the different what do you say, the castes, like the queens, workers, as well as the drones. So the queens will emerge from their cells in 15 to 16 days, whereas workers in 21 days and the drones in about 24 days. So only one queen actually is present in a hive, usually present in a hive. So what happens? The new virgin queens will develop in enlarged cells through the differential feeding of royal jelly by the worker. Now later on, when the existing queen ages or dies or the colony becomes very large, a new queen again is raised by the worker bees. So like that, it will go on. So when the hive is too large, the old queens, what will they do? They will take half the colony with her in a swarm. Now, this occurs a few days prior to the new queen emerging. Then, if several queens emerge, they will begin piping, the signaling that there is location for the other virgin queens to come. So, when one, what happens is, one has eliminated the others, she will go around the hive, chewing the sides of any other queen cells and stinging and killing the pupil. So, like this, it will go on developing. So see, this is, if you see observe the honeybee life cycle of this is actually the larva from the egg. It will hatch into the larva. Then from the larva again. So this is day 6, this is day 10. Then after that you have the larva. This is the pupa. This is the day 14. Then you have got the day 18 pupa. And if you see, this is the adult. So that is how the, what do you say, the life cycle of the honeybee will occur. So actually it occurs in 4 stages. That is after the egg, it will undergo the larval stage, after larval stage, pupal stage, as well as the adult stage. So we can say 4 different stages, that is egg, larva, pupa, as well as the adult. Okay. So the next, what happens? The queen will take one or several nuptial flights to mate with the drones from other colonies which die after mating. So after mating, what happens? The queen will begin laying the eggs. So that is how. So a female queen is able to lay fertilized or unfertilized eggs. So each unfertilized egg, what happens? It will contain a unique combination of 50% of the queen's genes and develops into a haploid drone. Then the fertilized eggs will develop into either diploid workers or virgin queens, which fed exclusively on the royal jelly. Now, every honeybee, like you can say, in a hive, will exist to perform specific duties determined by their gender as well as the age. So this is how, see, these are the empty cells. Now the queen, what happens? The queen will lay the eggs in this cell. Okay. Then the eggs, that is the worker bee, from 0 to 3 days. Then the pupa, worker bee, 18 to 21 days. Then adult, drone bee, 24 days life cycle. Then you have, yeah, after 0 to 3 days, we have to go here. That is larva, worker bee, 4 to 10 days. Then you have pupa, worker bee, 11 to 7 days. Then 18 to 21 days. Then next, adult worker bee, 21-day life cycle. Then you have adult queen bee, 16-day life cycle. And you can see. So we can say overall, the adult, the worker bee, I mean the life cycle of a adult worker bee, it is nothing but 21 days, whereas a queen will have its life cycle only for 16 days, whereas the adult drone is nothing but a male, which will have 24 days life cycle. So this is how actually the cycle will go on. So next, what happens is a fertile queen is able to lay fertilized as well as unfertilized eggs. So the each unfertilized egg, what happens? It contains about 50% of the queen genes and it will develop into a drone. Then the fertilized eggs, what do? They develop into either the diploid workers or they will into the virgin queen. Then each honey bee actually in a hive will exist to perform a specific duty. So that is how the life cycle will take. Then what happens? Like every member of its colony, then what happens? The nurse honeybee plays a very, very vital role for the survival of its hive. So nurse bees, what do? They are charged with the care and feeding of the queen and the next generation. So the average lifespan of a queen is 3 to 4 years. The average lifespan of a queen is about 3 to 4 years. Drones usually die upon mating, or they are expelled from the hive before the winter, and the workers may live for a few weeks in the summer and several months in areas with an extended winter. So that is how the life cycle of the honeybees will take. So already we have talked about the worker bees and all those things. So we can say the life cycle of a honeybee actually consists of 4 stages. That is the egg, larva, pupa, as well as the adult. Now the eggs are being laid by the queen. Only one queen is present in a colony, as I have told you earlier. Then once, and these eggs may be either fertilized or they may be unfertilized. Okay, so if they are fertilized, means it will develop into a drone. If they are unfertilized, then they will try to develop into nothing but the work. So like this, means unfertilized eggs will develop into workers, whereas fertilized eggs actually will develop into nothing but the drones, that is the male. So like that, the cycle will go on. So this is about the life cycle. Now we'll briefly discuss about the the management of the apiculture. How to manage it. So we have seen now what is apiculture, how to actually, what are the different species of these honeybees and where they are actually occur, and what is the sociality, you can say the social life, social organization in these honeybees, and what are the different castes of these honeybees, how do they perform, how actually they live in a colony, what is the role of each caste, that is the queen, drone, as well as the worker, and how they produce a honeycomb or a beehive. So when once it is being produced, how actually they carry about its their life cycle, and after that, how do you collect the nectar, that is the honey, honey from these honeybees. So, and what are the uses of these honeybees? That is both the nutritional uses as well as your mm, medicinal uses. Apart from that, we have also seen that honeybee, with the help of the honeybee, we not only we get the honey, we extract honey, but at the same time we also get the bee wax, which is nothing but being produced from the workers. So their role also we have seen. So what is the importance of these bee wax and how they are useful to mankind? Now we will talk about the management of the the apiculture. Okay. Now we will discuss about the apiary management, or nothing but the apiculture management. How to manage the apiculture? Because now we are all talking about the different about the honeybees, its life cycle, and how we collect the honey and all those things. But management of apiculture is also very essential, because if you don't have a proper management, if you don't go about with the proper management, it is very difficult to culture or to rear this the honeybees. So that is why not only rearing is essential, but at the same time, management of this apiculture is also very essential. So what are the prerequisites actually that are basically required to start this beekeeping, or to start the the rearing of this honeybee? Now, actually, the one thing we should know about this beekeeping or about the apiculture is you should have well-trained staff should be there, and you should have knowledge. The training should be given on this beekeeping, or the knowledge should be there, and also you should have a basic knowledge upon the local bee flora, and sufficient knowledge should be there, and also you should have surplus amount of this local bee flora. As I've already told you, there are a number of honeybees which are actually present, but wherever you want to go about with the apiculture or the honeybee culture, you should have a broad idea about what type of honeybees are found in which particular type of climate, or in which particular area. So, and which is the most abundantly found honeybee in that particular area. So if you have got a broad knowledge about all these things, and if you have got a training, and also if you have got sufficient amount of the honeybees prevailing in that particular area, you can easily try to get more results. So that is why knowledge is important, training is very important. Not only the training on beekeeping and the knowledge, but also on the flora means you should also have the what type of flowering apart because see honeybees actually what do they do? How actually the honey is being extracted from the honey? Nothing but with the help of the nectar from the plant. So they sit on the what do you say the plant. So when they sit on the plants only that way with help of this pollen only that is the nectar we try to extract the honey. So it is very essential. The flora is also very essential. So what type of flora actually do they accept or do they like? So that is also very important. And you also should have sufficient amount of flora. And if necessary, practice migratory beekeeping. So migratory beekeeping means you should not actually, go on doing this culture only at one particular place. You have to move about from one place to another place so that you can get a good yield. So then next is what the site requirement, where actually you want, which site you want to select and what are the basic requirements that you need. So the site should be dry without dampness and you should have high RH will affect the bee ripening of the nectar. So that is why the site should be dry. And the water should be from either from the natural source or artificially provided. And then wind breaks. The trees serve as the wind belt in the food areas. So that is also very required. And shade, hives can be kept under shade at shade of trees. So artificial structures can also be constructed for the shade purpose. Then you also should have bee pasturage or bee storage. That means the plants that yield pollen or the nectar to the bees. They are also called as the pasturage or the storage. So that's how I've told you, know. So actually, which type of plants actually do they prefer? Why? Because these plants actually will yield the pollen or the nectar to the bees. So by seeing the nectar or the pollen only, they try to actually sit on that flower and then they try to what do you say secrete the honey. So in that way, actually, the flow what do you say the florage or the pasturage is very important. Next is what are the general management practices that you have to do, and every time you should go for the inspection of the hive, that is opening the hive at least twice a week, okay, and inspecting it for further details. Whether the queen is present or not, means presence of the queen should be there, presence of eggs and the brood should be there, honey and pollen storage should be there, and the hive record should be maintained for each hive, and the presence of bee enemies like wax moth, mite, disease should not be there. So always you should actually inspect a hive. So how do you inspect a hive? So these are the basic general management practices that you need, that a farmer actually need to do it. So what are those? One, you should go on actually inspect the hive every now and then. Every week actually you have to check it, see that the queen is present in that or not, and also eggs are there, and also the pollen as well as the honey storage also should be there. You should have honey as well as the pollen should be there in a hive. Then also you should maintain the record of each hive. And also there should not be any enemy, any bee enemies like wax moth or the mite, and also these honeybees should not be infected with any particular disease. So that way you have to actually go about with the inspection of a honey. The next is what expanding a brood net. Syrup, they you should instantly actually you should go on feeding, because suppose if the honey is not there in a hive, then what you need to do, you have to feed the current patient. You have to feed yeah, you have to feed the honeybees with the sugar syrup. So sugar dissolved in water in 1:1 dilution can be used to feed the bees during the particular period. Then apart from that, you also have to add the frames in super chamber. So how do you add? This is done actually when the brood chamber is filled with the bees on all the frames and they are covered. Then what you need to do is you have to actually comb foundation sheet or constructed frames should be added. Then lastly, you should actually go for honey extraction, and you should keep a bee escape board should be there, and it should be kept between the brood as well as the super chamber, and the bees should be brushed away using the brush. So like that you have to collect the extract the honey by following this precaution. Okay, like चलेगा, टाइम भी हो गया. टाइम भी हो गया है, लाइट भी चलेगी। अच्छा ठीक है। कैसे दावा दे सकते हैं? किसका नाम? अरे नहीं, क्या बिल्कुल दिमाग खराब लोग कर। बंद हो गया, हो चले आता ना ऑटोमेटिक, अब लीव को वो आ रहा ही नहीं, करंट चले गया। ओके ना, क्लास तो बोल दी कैसा भी पूरा ये करके।